morning, men. Craig here from MasculineByDesign.com. Follow me on Twitter at MasculineDesign. A couple videos back, I talked about the necessity of men not just leading in the place of business, not just leading at work, not just taking ownership over their responsibility to provide for their families financially, but also to be responsible in the call that they have to lead in the home, to set the direction for their wife and for their kids, for their family. To set the tone for what that looks like, to be the rock for them, to have solid frame, be a standard of emotional security, to logically point them in the direction that you are taking them so that they can follow suit. Now, I had a lot of thoughts after posting that about things that guys have asked me in the past. You know, how do I balance that, right? How do I balance that mission that I have, that responsibility that I have to provide for my family? You know, I'm grinding at work. I'm working, 50 hours a week, and that just doesn't leave much time for me to, lead in the home. And what about having time to relax? How do I balance that? And I have a side hustle. I'm working on building other revenue streams in my time away from my day job. How do I balance all of this while also leading my family well? And the quick answer is it's not easy, but it is possible. And I know because I'm living that out. I am doing it. I've been doing it for years now. I work 55 hours at my day job most weeks. I also put in an additional 20 hours or so online, putting out this content, writing blog posts. I'm working on a book, doing podcasts, all of these things to help my fellow man in other ways than just what I'm doing at my day job. And I'm doing that while also leading my family. And when I think about what it is that makes me successful, there are a few common denominators that I use that all of you who are working toward doing something similar can put to use as well. So the things that I do, one, I'm very intentional with my time. Most guys, when they're doing what I'm doing right now, they're driving to work. What are they doing, right? They're zoning out to radio, music, maybe doing something a little better, like listening to the latest episode of the Masculine by Design Mancast. Little shameless self-promotion there. But they're not doing something that is going to help them achieve whatever their goals are away from leading the family. So I'm using this time to help me achieve the mission that I have to provide and to provide value to the men around me, those who follow me online. I'm using this time, this 15 minutes that I could just waste away or use to consume, I'm using it to produce. So you have to be very intentional with your time. And it's not just intentional with the time that you're producing. When my kids are around me, I'm very intentional with the time that I have with them because it is limited. Between my work, my kids' sports, the other activities they're involved in, the time that I have to feed into them is very limited, so I have to be very intentional about that. So when I'm around my kids and I'm not focused on doing the things that I'm working toward, doing the things that I'm doing because I'm responsible for setting the tone for the family in whatever way that is, I'm setting the tone for my kids by feeding into them, by teaching them, by guiding them, by engaging with them. I am focused on them. I'd be lying if I said I don't, check my phone every once in a while or that kind of thing, but it's very limited. I'm not sitting there with my phone on my lap, checking it while my kids and I are doing something together. I'm very focused on that. I take time to read to my children every night, almost without exception. We either read stories, something educational, we read from the Bible, but I'm intentional about that. That is a standard that I have set, and I don't deviate from it except on very rare occasions. So you have to be intentional with that time. A father who is intentional with his kids, even if you have, let's just throw a number out there, you have 20 hours with your kids each week that, they're free to focus on you, you're free to focus on them. 20 hours is a lot of time, guys, if you are using that effectively. If you are spending that time engaging with them, asking them about the things they're dealing with in life, advising them, sharing similar experiences you might have had growing up, instilling values, truth, faith into their lives, 20 hours goes a long way, guys. Week after week after week, 20 hours, 52 weeks in a year. But you have to be consistent. Now, if you take weeks off, take a lot of days off where you're not doing those things, you're vegging out on the couch, drinking beer and watching football or baseball or hockey or whatever it is that you like to watch, it's not going to go very far. You're not going to get the results that you want. You're not going to be able to lead in your responsibility of setting the direction for your family. You have to be very intentional about that. So you have to be mindful of your time and your schedule. You might have to make sacrifices. I got 5 hours of sleep last night. I'm not complaining about it. I'm happy because you know what? I released an episode of the podcast that I recorded with Dennis Mangan where we talked about men unlocking their physical potential and their potential for health by taking ownership over the way that they are feeding and training their bodies. That is going to provide a lot of value to the men who follow me, and I know that. And that drives me. I want to get that out there. That helps get a message out that I see men needing desperately today. So yeah, I missed a little bit of sleep. So what? Sometimes you have to do difficult things. Sometimes you are going to be uncomfortable trying to manage all of your obligations as a man. It is a grind. It is a burden of performance that we all have. You might as well embrace it and enjoy it. You're going to deal with it regardless. And to be honest, it feels good. It feels good to perform. It feels good to pursue a mission that is yours and yours alone. Yes, your family might benefit from it. Yes, it might tie into the vision that you have for your family and the ability you have to provide for them. But it's yours. It's something you are working toward, something you are working to unleash on the world. So when your kids go to bed, spend 2 or 3 hours working on whatever it is that you feel you need to be working on. It's about balance. And most of the guys who will complain to me that I don't have enough time for, to build a side business. I don't have enough time to work at my day job and do all these other things and also lead my family. Most of these guys are the same ones who will spend 15 or 20 hours every week watching television, 15 or 20 hours every week scrolling news articles bashing Trump or praising Trump. Most of these guys will spend 15, 20 hours a week arguing with other men on social media or women, whatever. You have the same amount of time in a day as I do and every other man has. It's how you use that time that determines how much of your potential will be actualized in the life that you've been given. Use your time well. That's all that I have. If you have any comments about ways that you can balance your life mission, your responsibility of providing and also leading for your family, leave them below. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, as I continue to produce new content all the time, designed specifically to help men thrive. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm doing a lot of things well. I am enjoying life. I'm a married man with 3 kids. I have a day job. I work online to help men thrive. I'm happy. And if I can help other men be content and satisfied in life because of the things that I found to work in my own life, then I'm going to do that. And that's the content that I'm putting out. So if you enjoy this content, make sure you subscribe so you are updated whenever I release more of it. If you'd like to sign up for my newsletter, you can do that at masculinebydesign.com/newsletter. I'm going to be putting a newsletter out today where I talk about the balance of taking care of your body, but also making sure that you don't neglect going to the doctor. A lot of guys have this problem where, I don't go to the doctor, I don't trust them. Well, I had an experience with a family member this week where he had a very serious issue and he wasn't getting it checked out, and by going to the doctor, it is now under control, and it could have been fatal for him. So there is balance that has to be applied there. I'm not somebody who likes going to the doctor. In fact, it's usually a last resort for me, but to write that off completely is a bad idea. I'm going to talk about why that is in today's newsletter. So again, go to masculinebydesign.com/newsletter. You can sign up there. You'll get a free copy of my book, Masculine by Design, as well. Again, follow me on Twitter at Masculine Design, and check out what me and Hunter and the rest of the brothers inside of the Fraternity of Excellence are up to by going to fraternityofexcellence.com. It's a community of masculine-minded men who are driven, who are ambitious, who are striving to be intentional with the way they live so that they can lead themselves and lead their families or future families well. That's all I have today. Until next time, this is Craig James. I am out.